Hi again. After doing the last video, I was remembering a few more things. One little funny thing I have to say about when we went to see Evander Holyfield fight Bean. Uh, when we went in the limo, I got to tell you, it was funny. So we're stuck in traffic in Atlanta, right? No surprise. And Jerry, the youngest that was living with us, he rolled down the window when we were stuck in traffic, and the car next to us, had their window down, and he says, "Can you please pass the Grey Poupon?" Remember that commercial? That was so funny. He was such a funny kid. Um, so I also remembered when we were in California, up, I think it was in San Jose, which was not far from Napa Valley, and San Francisco, in between there, um, that we went to Winchester House. And I just want to mention that because I really enjoyed that a lot. The Winchester guns, rifles, uh, that family, it was a cool house to go visit because the lady had so much guilt from all the people that were killed with those guns made by the family. So she felt like the house was haunted and she had to keep noise going all the time to keep away the ghosts. So she just kept on hiring people to keep on building onto the house. So the house started out as a nice, kind of normal house for the time, and she just kept on building more and more rooms. So it was just like one room after another, all these rooms. I thought that was really cool. If you go to San Jose, you might want to check that out. So I also forgot to mention when I was talking about my travels with Mark, that, and I mentioned it briefly before maybe, but we did go to Daytona Beach with all the kids one time. So that was good, fun. Everybody had a good time up until the end. I think I told that story. Um, Somebody stole a piece of candy at the Cracker Barrel. One of the kids, right? We had five with us, and he got busted. So uh, Mark made him sweep the parking lot of the Cracker Barrel for punishment, and the rest of the family had to sit and wait on that, which took a long time, over an hour. Uh, and everybody was kind of mad at him after that. So that was part of that story. Okay, so it also jogged my memory because I mentioned that he came with me to my 25th class reunion in New Jersey, and that made me think about my friend Debbie, who was murdered. I thought it was at that reunion, but I looked it up. It was actually the 20-year reunion. And so I'm going to tell that story now. Um, okay, so Debbie was in my episodes, my earliest episodes. I met her the first day of school, going to first grade, and we became like best friends. Um, Played with her a lot for years. Um, when I got to be about 11, probably 10 years old, maybe, I started having a lot of other friends, and I didn't hang around with her so much. Also, she was not allowed to go out much. Um, she had to stay home a lot for different reasons. Anyway, she was a close friend of mine in my early um, youth, and I always liked her. Most of the kids liked her because she was a lot of fun. She was a lot of fun. And in fact, she reminds me a lot of Jerry, my stepson. Um, Same kind of personality. Um, Very, very friendly and a lot of fun. Also very adventuresome and, you know, one that might not, um, might get in trouble, which she did a lot. Um, her She was always getting restricted. I couldn't understand why she wouldn't just go home at 5 o'clock like she was supposed to, because every time she didn't go home at 5 o'clock, she couldn't go out for a week after that, or 2 weeks or something. I didn't understand why she would do that, but that's the way she was. And um, her mother got cancer when she was pretty young, and her mom died when Debbie was only 15. I went to the funeral, the wake, um, cried with her over the casket. Um, I felt close to her family. She had an older sister who used to hang out sometimes with us when we would play with the older girls that lived across the street from me. And also, and they were the ones that used to walk across the top of the swing set. Like, we used to call them the daring, sisters, like in a circus or something. And then her brother was friends with my brother. They were only 2 months apart. And I mean, I remember going to her house when baby came home from the hospital. Her family took me to Pennsylvania to visit with the grandparents. Her mother used to take me to the beach. They took me to the boardwalk, and I mean, Asbury Park Boardwalk when I was little and stuff. I was close with their family. And anyway, we went our separate ways as we got older, and when her mom died, it was sad that she really had to stay. She had a younger sister that was very young, and she had to take care of her. She was kind of the ones pretty much stuck taking care of the little sister a lot. Um, and in high school, I didn't hang around with her. We went our separate ways. We had different friends. And then after high school, it ended up she started dating and marrying the best friend of a close friend of mine, her husband. So, we kind of, you know, had that little reconnection there right after high school. And she had a child. And then I didn't see her much, and we moved to California and all. Uh, I did anyway. And so 20-year reunion, 20-year class reunion, she shows up. And I was so happy and excited to see her. She ran right over. I remember when she came in the door, she ran right over to me as soon as she spotted me. We hugged and jumped up and down and everything. She says to me, Ichi ni san chi go rokusichi hachikuju. She said, I remember, because that was how to count to 10 in Japanese, which she learned from my mom when we were like in the first grade, right? She said, I still remember. And, we were hugging and just so happy, danced together. So good to see her. Uh, so, got some pictures from that day. They're not real good, clear pictures, not worth showing. Um, but what happened was, I heard a day or two later that she was murdered right after that class reunion. And turns out, I'll tell you what happened, but okay, I'm going to tell you this first. When I heard about the murder, I was really upset, you can imagine. And on the other hand, I was so happy that I got to see her again. We had that little time together that night. But that night that I heard about her murder, I had a dream. And I dreamed that I was in the woods with her and that she got shot. And I was right there with her, and she fell into my arms, and I fell down with her, and I was holding her, her head, kind of, her torso in my lap, um, hugging her. And she said to me, um, remember when we used to go to Sunday school together? And I prayed over her, with her, and that was it. There was men there that shot her in my dream, but I couldn't, see faces or anything, or like kind of like shadows. But it gave me so much peace to have that dream. I just praise God for that. I don't know, but maybe it happened in a way. Maybe she thought of me. Maybe she thought about Sunday school, thought about God, thought about Jesus as she was dying. And somehow I was with her with that. Uh, I hope so. That makes my heart feel good. But I do thank God that He gave me that dream because it made me feel like I'm going to see her in heaven. And it really gave me peace. I felt like her early experience learning about God was the same as mine. We went to the same Sunday school together, and her family was not religious either. We used to go oh no, I started going there when I was 7 or 8, but we used to go together, sit together, Sunday school, church. She was in the choir like me. And to hear that, um, in my dream, that was her last memory. And maybe it really was. I believe God works like that. And anyway, so comforting to me to have that dream. And those are reasons I feel close to God. Um, so what really happened with her was, and I'm telling you this because I heard the story and I just now read the police report to, confirm in my brain before I relay this to you. What happened was that she was doing drug running for the mob from Bahamas and on boat somehow. And she was also accused of being an informer. It was the Gambino family. And so she was accused of being an informer. And basically, that's why she was killed. And the main suspect was her brother, who was friends with my brother, who grew up with my brother. And so she was killed in the woods, is what I heard. That wasn't in the Bermuda police report, but that was in the, what I heard locally, that like the day after the reunion, that she had some kind of job and ended up shot execution style in the woods. And so that's my second murder story. I told you the first one was when I lived in California, Victoria Eddington. If you want to look it up, I told that story already. This is my second murder story. I have two more so far in my life. They'll be coming up later. So, I have some more time on a lighter note. I can add, uh, it kind of doesn't seem even appropriate to jump from that to some happier things. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to leave this one short. In memory of Debbie, Deborah Lee Owens. If you want to look her up, she's out there. Her story of her death, um, it still saddens me very much. But I'm so happy that I saw her the day before after not seeing her for 20 years. So that was a blessing, and I saw her in my dream. That was the best blessing. So, what I do want to say is this: if you believe in God, watch how He works in your life, because I think He's there a lot more than a lot of people realize. Doing little things for you. He doesn't get the credit when He should. That's what I believe. Give God the glory. Um, don't just count it luck or coincidence or, yeah, somebody else did something for you, but Bible says all good things come from God. So whatever somebody else did good for you, um, God is at the root of it one way or another. He caused them to, or He led them to, He guided them. Something worked out for you. So be thankful. And I'll talk more next time. I was going to tell you about concerts I went to with uh, when I was married to Mark around that time, because that's the story I'm in right now. I have more to tell, but I'm going to just leave it at that for now. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you stick with me.